You're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Jargalma Tufshin Jargal. Our top stories for today. Major trades highlight growing transparency and competitiveness on the Mongolian Stock Exchange. Mongolia and South Korea to establish joint startup support center in Ulaanbaatar. There are more than 20 children's summer camps in the capital. For the news, stay tuned. Let's take a look at recent economic news related to sales on the Mongolian Stock Exchange. Significant trades were made on the stock exchange. On Tuesday, July 23rd, Energy Resources LLC sold 25,600 tons of semi-soft coking coal, while Mongol Trust's Wetmet traded 3,300 tons of iron ore.
On Tuesday, July 23rd, on the Mongolian Stock Exchange, Energy Resources LLC traded 25,000 tons of semi-soft coking coal with medium ash content for 12 million Chinese yuan, equivalent to 5.7 billion Mongolian tugreks. Additionally, 3,300 tons of iron ore with a 52% content from the state-owned factory, Mongol Rost's Wetmet, were traded for $244,000 US or 825 million Mongolian tugreks. With the implementation of the new law on the exchange for mining products, not only coal and iron ore concentrate but also copper concentrates were traded. This increased transparency in the purchase of mining products not only boosts tax revenue but also alleviates suspicions of malpractice. The law aims to create a more competitive and fair market environment, encouraging both domestic and international investors to participate actively. On the same day, 1,797,000 shares worth of 912 million Mongolian tugreks of 41 joint stock companies were traded on the stock exchange. The share prices of 23 companies increased, those of 15 companies decreased, and 3 companies' prices remained stable. This trading activity reflects a dynamic and evolving market, providing opportunities for growth and investment across various sectors. The top 20 index set a new record of 49,331.52 on July 22nd. The market capitalization is now over 12 trillion Mongolian tugreks.
The Governor's Office of Ulaanbaatar City and the Korea Institute of Startup and Entrepreneurship Development have agreed to create a Mongolia-South Korea joint startup support center. This center will significantly boost Mongolia's startup ecosystem by promoting the circulation of innovative products and services, enhancing exports, developing human resources, and facilitating the sharing of experiences.
Over the next 3 years, the center will benefit around 3,000 startup entrepreneurs, train over 1,000 public servants and specialists, and support 45 startups. Additionally, it will develop educational materials and training programs for secondary school and university students. On July 23rd, Mandol Nyamdilik, Deputy Governor of Ulaanbaatar City, met with Dr. Kim Jong-hyun of KISED to discuss innovation-based business development, high-impact business support, capacity building, and student exchange programs. Deputy Governor Mandol expressed his optimism, stating that we believe that the Innovation Center will create a favorable environment for improving the business climate in the two countries, connecting entrepreneurs and exchanging best practices. The capital city will fully support the operation of this center.
There are about 950,000 children aged 6 to 18 in Mongolia. About 8% of these children attend summer camp each year. Here are the details of the typical day for kids at the Yanzov Children's Summer Camp. A day at the summer camp starts with a lot of fun. When we wake up, we greet each other, do our morning exercise together, and then go to breakfast. After that, we spend the day productively, participating in fun competitions and club activities.
At first, initially I thought that children's summer camp wouldn't be very nice or interesting. But after I arrived, I saw that it has many programs, fun games, and opportunities to make many new friends.
By coming to this summer camp, I am learning to work as part of a team. I used to be a very shy child, but now I'm more sociable and learning many new things. I came from Haupt province. Before coming to this summer camp, I was worried how other children would receive me. A sports day was held yesterday. 3 children from our group won the girls' basketball competition. Children from the other group won the boys' basketball competition. In the volleyball competition, girls and boys competed in mixed teams, and our group won. The moment after I won the competition, I received the trophy and took a beautiful picture of me.
There are so many activities in our summer camp, such as fun games, sports days, relays, art performances, and more. So we never have time to get bored.
Our summer camp's club activities are led by professional teachers. We also bring in expert handicraft instructors to teach classes. The vocal club is conducted by professional teachers, and our basketball and volleyball sessions are taught by experienced coaches. Sending a child to summer camp helps them adapt quickly to new environments. Children learn to be independent and improve their communication skills with others. Children become more socially active by staying away from smartphones for 7 days. Many kids today isolate themselves from society due to their smartphones. By attending camp, children are away from their devices for at least a week, which helps them engage much more with others.
After we first arrived at the camp, we handed over our phones to our teachers. Initially, it was challenging not having my phone. In the city, children often spend too much time in social environments and engage in unproductive activities. However, here at the camp, we stay busy with training and activities, so there's no time to get bored.
Thank you for staying with us. Now let's take a look at currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Next, our program will turn our attention to foreign news, partnered with international news agencies. Germany's governing coalition and the conservative opposition on Tuesday presented a plan to protect the country's highest court against possible future manipulation or obstruction by extremist or authoritarian politicians.
Justice Minister Marco Buschmann cited experiences in Poland, Hungary, and Israel as illustrating the need to bolster the Federal Constitutional Court. Germany's own political landscape has become increasingly fragmented in recent years, with the far-right Alternative for Germany party emerging as a significant political force. The plan put forward by Chancellor Olaf Scholz's three-party coalition and the mainstream conservative Union bloc, the biggest opposition force, calls for the court's ground rules to be anchored in the constitution, which they weren't when the post-World War II German constitution was drawn up 75 years ago. That means a two-thirds parliamentary majority would be required to change them in the future rather than a simple majority. It's rare for a governing coalition to have that many seats in parliament and unheard of for a single party to be that strong. Backers of the change pointed to neighboring Poland in particular as a cautionary tale. That country's nationalist Conservative Law and Justice Party moved to establish control over the Constitutional Tribunal after it returned to power in 2015. The Polish government's overhaul of courts and judicial bodies prompted a years-long standoff with the European Union. That ended only in recent months after Law and Justice lost power. Germany's Federal Constitution Court, based far from Berlin in the southwestern city of Karlsruhe, is frequently called on to act as the ultimate arbiter over policy. The court weighed in repeatedly on complaints against bailout plans during the Eurozone debt crisis. In recent years, rulings have prompted the government to bring forward the date for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and forced it into a hasty and politically fraught rewrite of this year's budget. Cases currently pending include an opposition challenge to an electoral reform meant to slim down the increasingly bloated parliament. The court has two panels of 8 judges each who get a 12-year term and can't be re-elected. Those requirements are to be anchored in the Constitution, as are the upper age limit to 68 for justices and other rules. Half of the justices are elected by the lower house of parliament, or Bundestag, and the other half by the upper house, which represents Germany's 16 state governments. Candidates are proposed by political parties and need a two-thirds majority to be elected, which is meant to ensure balance. Bushman said the proposed reform also includes a workaround in the case of obstructive minorities blocking the election of justices. That would enable the Bundestag to elect judges if the upper house has failed to for 3 months or vice versa. Backers of the change aim to get legislation through parliament this year. A two-thirds majority will be needed for that, which can only be achieved by the coalition and the mainstream opposition joining forces.
Now let's take a look at weather forecast for world major cities. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We will see you on Thursday with more news and updates. Goodbye.